Success leaves traces right now. You're standing at the edge of something remarkable. The power to become invisible to failure, doubt, and mediocrity. Think about that for a moment. It was in the ability to ghost everything that holds you back, to simply fade away from the gravitational pull of average living. I'm going to tell you a truth that might shake you to your core. 95% of people live their entire lives being seen by all the wrong things. They're seen by fear. They're seen by their past mistakes. They're seen by other people's opinions. But the true masters of life, they've learned the art of ghosting not people, but the limitations that keep them ordinary. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just another collection of words. It's a blueprint for becoming invisible to failure while remaining visible to success. It's about mastering the art of selective visibility. You see, every morning when you wake up, two forces are competing for your attention. The first one is the loud, demanding voice of society's expectations, the bills, the deadlines, the endless to-do lists. The second is the quiet whisper of your potential, that gentle nudge telling you there's more to life than just existing. Most people stay visible to the first voice and ghost the second. They show up for everything that drains them and become invisible to opportunities that could transform them. But you're about to learn how to flip this script entirely. Consider this. When a master painter creates art, they don't just throw paint at the canvas. They know exactly where to place each stroke and, more importantly, where to leave empty space. Your life is that canvas, and you're about to learn the art of strategic invisibility. The first principle of ghosting what doesn't serve you is understanding that attention is your most valuable currency. Every second you spend being visible to negative influences is a second you become invisible to positive opportunities. It's time to start spending this currency wisely. You've been programmed since childhood to be visible to everything and everyone, to respond to every call, to react to every situation, to be present for every demand. This programming has made you visible to chaos and invisible to clarity. Today that changes. Think about water for a moment. When it meets an obstacle, it doesn't fight, it flows around it. It becomes invisible to the barrier while remaining completely true to its nature. This is the essence of strategic ghosting. You're not running away. You're flowing toward your destiny with unstoppable momentum. The average person spends 2760 hours a year being visible to distractions. That's 115 days of your life annually where you're showing up for everything except your dreams. If you're 30 years old, you've already spent 3,450 days. Nearly a decade being seen by what diminishes you rather than what elevates you. But here's where it gets interesting. The most successful people in history mastered the art of selective visibility. Thomas Edison became invisible to social obligations while working on his inventions. Marie Curie ghosted conventional wisdom about women in science. Martin Luther King Jr. became invisible to fear while remaining highly visible to justice. You might be thinking, but isn't ghosting negative? Isn't it about avoiding responsibility? No, strategic ghosting is about becoming so focused on your mission that everything else naturally fades into the background. It's about becoming invisible to the ordinary so you can become extraordinary. Let me give you a practical example. When you're working on your most important goals, your phone buzzes, a notification appears. In that micro moment, you have a choice. Will you remain visible to distraction, or will you ghost everything that isn't aligned with your purpose? Champions of life consistently choose the latter. The human brain can truly focus on only one thing at a time. This means that every moment you spend being visible to what doesn't matter, you're automatically ghosting what does. The key is to reverse this pattern deliberately. Start with your morning routine. The first hour of your day sets the tone for the next 23. Most people wake up and immediately make themselves visible to the world's chaos, checking emails, scrolling through social media, absorbing negative news. They ghost their own power hour. Instead, become invisible to the world's demands for the first 60 minutes of your day. Ghost your phone, ghost the news, ghost everything except your personal development. This one shift will compound into massive changes over time. Is another powerful truth. Money responds to those who ghost scarcity thinking. When you become invisible to thoughts of lack, you naturally become visible to abundance. This isn't mystical thinking, it's practical psychology. What you focus on expands, what you ghost contracts. Consider the highly successful person you admire has mastered the art of ghosting the right things. They've become invisible to criticism while remaining visible to feedback. They've ghosted temporary pleasure while staying visible to lasting fulfillment. They've become invisible to the noise while remaining visible to their inner guidance. The technique I'm about to share with you is something I call the GHOST protocol. It's a 3-step process that will transform how you interact with life's challenges and opportunities. Step 1, identify what deserves your visibility. Write down the top 5 areas of your life that truly matter. Your core mission, key relationships, essential goals. These are your visibility zones. Step 2, list everything that currently has your attention but doesn't belong in those top 5 areas. These are your ghosting candidates. Be ruthless in this assessment. Remember, every moment of visibility to what doesn't matter is invisibility to what does. Step 3, your ghosting schedule. Just as you schedule meetings and appointments, schedule specific times to become invisible to distractions. This isn't avoidance, it's strategic focus. Let me tell you about a person I mentored who applied this protocol. They were struggling, visible to every problem, every drama, every distraction. Within 6 months of applying strategic ghosting, their productivity tripled, and their income doubled. Their stress levels halved. Why? Because they learned to become invisible to what was holding them back. This brings us to an important distinction. There's a difference between ghosting and ignoring. Ignoring is passive. Ghosting is active. When you ghost something, you're making a conscious choice to redirect your energy toward what truly matters. Think about your energy like a spotlight. You can't illuminate everything at once, but you can choose where to direct your beam. Most people scatter their light, trying to illuminate every corner of their lives simultaneously. The result? Nothing gets proper visibility. The solution is to ghost the unnecessary so your light can shine brighter on what's essential. This isn't about doing more, it's about being more focused on what truly matters. Is a powerful truth that might shake you. Your current life situation is the result of what you've been visible to. If you're not where you want to be, it's because you've been visible to the wrong things and invisible to the right ones. The good news, you can change this pattern starting right now. The moment you decide to ghost what's holding you back, you begin a new chapter of your life. It's like turning off background noise. You become so accustomed to that, you forgot it was there. Consider your mind like a house. Most people leave every door and window open, allowing any thought, emotion, or distraction to walk right in and make itself at home. They're visible to everything, which means they're effectively invisible to what matters most. Strategic ghosting is about closing the right doors while leaving the important ones open. It's about becoming selectively permeable to life's influences. Ghosting negative self-talk. The average person has 60,000 thoughts per day, and studies show that for most people, 80 of these thoughts are negative. That's 48,000 negative thoughts you're making yourself visible to every single day. Imagine if you could ghost even half of those negative thoughts. You'd free up massive mental energy for productive thinking, creativity, and growth. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about selective thinking. The most successful people in history understood this principle intuitively. They ghosted the doubt, the criticism, the naysayers, not by fighting against them, but by becoming invisible to their influence while remaining laser-focused on their vision. Let's talk about fear for a moment. Fear is like a persistent telemarketer. It will keep calling until you either answer or ghost it. Most people answer every time fear calls, making themselves permanently visible to their limitations. And champions ghost fear's call while remaining visible to opportunity. This doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you'll develop the ability to ghost its influence over your actions. You'll feel the fear and become invisible to its suggestions of playing small. A practical exercise. For the next 24 hours, ghost all complaints. Become completely invisible to the tendency to complain. This simple practice will reveal how much energy you've been giving to what doesn't serve you. Another powerful aspect of strategic ghosting is becoming invisible to comparison. In today's social media age, we're constantly visible to others' highlight reels. This perpetual visibility to comparison is one of the biggest thieves of joy and momentum. The solution isn't to ghost social media entirely. It's to ghost the comparative mindset. When you scroll through your feed, ghost the urge to measure your life against others. Become invisible to the comparison trap while remaining visible to inspiration. Let's talk about time, the one resource you can never get back. Most people are visible to time wasters while being invisible to time multipliers. They ghost their prime hours and remain visible during their low energy periods. Strategic time ghosting means becoming invisible to time wasters during your peak performance hours. If you're a morning person, ghost everything that isn't essential during your morning hours. Become invisible to distractions when your energy is highest. This brings us to relationships. Not all relationships deserve your visibility. Some connections drain your energy, cloud your vision, and pull you off course. Learning to ghost toxic relationships while remaining visible to empowering ones is crucial for success. You become like the 5 people you're most visible to. If you're constantly visible to complainers, doubters, and energy vampires, guess what you'll become? Ghost these influences and make yourself visible to those who elevate you. Here's another powerful concept. Ghosting the need for immediate results. In microwave mentality, the need to see results instantly is one of the biggest killers of long-term success. Become invisible to the need for immediate gratification while remaining visible to the process of growth. Think about a bamboo tree. For the first 4 years after planting, you see virtually no growth above ground. But during this time, the tree is developing an elaborate root system underground. In the 5th year, the bamboo can grow up to 90 feet tall in just 6 weeks. Most people ghost the process and stay visible to quick results. They want the 90-foot growth without the 4 years of invisible root development. Champions do the opposite. They ghost the need for immediate results while staying completely visible to the process. This brings us to decision-making. Every decision is a choice between what to ghost and what to remain visible to. Most people make decisions based on what they fear losing rather than what they could gain. They stay visible to potential loss while ghosting potential opportunity. The solution? Ghost the scarcity mindset in your decision-making. Become invisible to thoughts of lack and limitation while remaining visible to abundance and possibility. Here's a powerful truth about productivity. You don't need more time. You need better ghosting skills. When you ghost the non-essential, time expands. When you're visible to everything, time contracts. Every time you say yes to something, you're automatically ghosting something else. The key is to be intentional about what you're ghosting rather than letting it happen by default. The most successful people are master ghosters. They ghost busy work to stay visible to important work. They ghost small thinking to remain visible to big opportunities. They ghost comfort zones to stay visible to growth. Let's talk about habits. Every habit you have is either making you visible to success or failure. The key is to ghost the habits that don't serve your highest good while remaining visible to those that do. Most people try to break bad habits by fighting them directly. This doesn't work because what you fight, you make more visible. The solution, ghost the bad habit by becoming so focused on its positive replacement that the old habit naturally fades away. This brings us to goals. Most people stay visible to their current circumstances while ghosting their aspirations. They're so visible to where they are that they become invisible to where they could be. The solution is to ghost the limitations of your current reality while remaining visible to your vision. This doesn't mean denying your current circumstances. It means refusing to let them define your future. Here's a crucial distinction. Ghosting isn't about avoiding reality. It's about choosing which reality you want to be visible to. You can be visible to the reality of limitations or the reality of possibilities. The choice is yours. Think about your self-image. Most people are visible to their past failures while ghosting their future potential. They let old mistakes and limitations photobomb every new opportunity. The solution. Ghost the old self-image that no longer serves you. Become invisible to outdated beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of. Stay visible only to the version of yourself that aligns with your highest potential. This brings us to an important point about resistance. Whenever you try to ghost something that doesn't serve you, you'll feel resistance. This resistance isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're ghosting the right things. The things that most need ghosting will fight the hardest to remain visible. Your old patterns, limiting beliefs, and comfortable mediocrity will demand your attention like a neglected child. The key is to ghost the resistance itself, become invisible to the pull of old patterns while remaining visible to the promise of new possibilities. Let's talk about focus. In today's world, focus is not about paying attention, it's about ghosting distractions. The ability to become invisible to interruptions while remaining visible to your core objectives is perhaps the most valuable skill you can develop. Most people try to focus by forcing themselves to pay attention. This is like trying to clear a cloudy glass of water by stirring it. The solution is to ghost the distractions and let clarity emerge naturally. Here's another powerful concept. Ghosting the gap. The gap is the space between where you are and where you want to be. Most people stay so visible to this gap that they become discouraged and give up. The solution is to ghost the gap while remaining visible to progress. Focus on the next step rather than the 1,000 steps ahead. Ghost the overwhelming big picture while staying visible to the immediate next move. This brings us to failure. Most people make failure so visible that success becomes invisible. They ghost opportunities because they're too visible to the possibility of failure. Solution? Ghost the shame of failure while remaining visible to its lessons. Become invisible to the emotion of failure while staying visible to its education. Let's talk about momentum. Momentum is what happens when you ghost resistance long enough for progress to become visible. Most people ghost their momentum by becoming visible to every obstacle and setback. The key is to ghost the interruptions to your momentum while remaining visible to your forward motion. Think of it like a plane taking off. There's a point where you must ghost the ground to achieve flight. Here's a truth about transforming. It happens in the spaces where you ghost your old self long enough for your new self to emerge. Most people ghost their potential transformation by remaining too visible to who they've been. The solution is to ghost your comfort zone while remaining visible to your growth zone. Become invisible to the easy path while staying visible to the path of growth. This brings us to an important point about energy. Your energy flows where your visibility goes. When you're visible to problems, you energize them. When you're visible to solutions, you energize them. The key is to ghost energy-draining thoughts and activities while remaining visible to energy-generating ones. Become invisible to what depletes you while staying visible to what fulfills you. Let's talk about success itself. Success is not about becoming more visible. It's about becoming selectively visible. Most people try to be seen by everyone while being truly seen by no one. The solution is to ghost the need for general visibility while remaining visible to specific opportunities. Become invisible to the crowd's approval while staying visible to your own standards of excellence. Here's the ultimate truth about ghosting. It's not about disappearing, it's about directing your energy with laser precision. It's about becoming so focused on what matters that everything else naturally fades into the background. Every moment of your life, you're either ghosting your potential or ghosting your limitations. You're either visible to growth or visible to stagnation. The choice is yours, and it's a choice you make moment by moment, day by day. The power to ghost what doesn't serve you while remaining visible to what does is always available to you. It's not a matter of capability, it's a matter of choice. Starting right now, choose what deserves your visibility. Ghost everything else. Your future self will thank you for the things you become invisible to today. This is your moment. Ghost the ordinary. Become visible to the extraordinary. Your new life is waiting on the other side of what you're willing to ghost. Take this message, apply it, and watch as the things you ghost fade away while the things you truly desire become more visible than ever before. The power is yours. Use it wisely. Now let's illuminate something powerful that most success teachers miss entirely. Your physical environment either makes you visible or invisible to success. Look around you right now. Every object in your space is either a beacon calling you toward greatness or a shadow keeping you visible to mediocrity. Most people stay visible to cluttered spaces, disorganized environments, and surroundings that whisper average into their subconscious mind. They ghost the power of environmental design while remaining visible to chaos. Your space shapes your visibility to success. Start ghosting everything in your environment that doesn't align with your highest vision. Remove what dims your light. Become invisible to spaces that drain your energy while staying visible to surroundings that energize your potential. Consider this truth about financial abundance. Money flows toward those who ghost scarcity actions. When you ghost small thinking in your financial moves, you naturally become visible to bigger opportunities. It's not about what you have. It's about what financial limitations you're willing to ghost. Most people stay visible to every bill, every expense, every financial worry. They ghost their financial power by remaining visible to lack. The solution ghosts the poverty mindset while staying visible to abundance actions. Here's something rarely discussed: the power of ghosting your own defense mechanisms. Every time you make an excuse, justify mediocrity, or explain away your potential, you're staying visible to your limitations. Your defense mechanisms are bodyguards protecting your comfort zone. The key is to ghost these protective patterns while remaining visible to vulnerable growth. Become invisible to the need for excuses while staying visible to raw potential. Think about your legacy. Every day, you're either ghosting your impact or ghosting your insignificance. Most people stay so visible to daily survival that they ghost their chance to create lasting significance. The solution is to ghost short-term thinking while remaining visible to legacy actions. Become invisible to the temporary while staying visible to the eternal. Consider this about personal power. Your true strength emerges when you ghost dependency on external validation. Most people stay so visible to others' opinions that they ghost their own inner guidance system. The key is to ghost the need for constant approval while remaining visible to self-trust. Become invisible to external judgment while staying visible to internal wisdom. Is a truth about timing. Life's biggest opportunities often arrive disguised as ghosted moments. While everyone else is visible to the obvious, champions stay visible to the subtle signals of timing. Most people ghost perfect timing by being visible to impatience. They miss golden moments because they're too visible to their own timetable. The solution: ghost the urgency of ego while remaining visible to the perfect unfolding of opportunity. Remember then, what you ghost becomes as important as what you embrace. Your power to become invisible to limitations while remaining visible to possibilities is your ultimate key to transcendence. This is your moment of choice. Will you stay visible to everything that holds you back, or will you master the art of strategic ghosting, becoming invisible to limitations while remaining visible only to your highest potential? The choice is yours. The time is now. Ghost everything that dims your light and watch as your brightest future becomes more visible than ever before. Stand up, step forward. Your new life of power through strategic invisibility begins this very moment. Ghost the ordinary, manifest the extraordinary, and let your legacy be the things you had the courage to ghost. The most powerful force in the universe is not what you chase. It's what you have the wisdom to ghost. Now go forth and become invisible to everything except your greatness. The world is waiting for you to ghost your limitations and become visible to your destiny. This is your time. This is your moment. The power of strategic ghosting is yours. Use it to transform not just your life, but the lives of generations to come. Consider the life force of nature itself. How a mighty oak tree grows not by fighting the winds, but by ghosting their resistance. It bends, it sways, yet remains rooted in its purpose. You possess this same natural wisdom. When storms of life come, you don't need to battle them. Simply ghost their power to disturb your inner peace. Look at the greatest innovations in human history. Every breakthrough came when someone dared to ghost conventional thinking. The Wright brothers ghosted the belief that humans couldn't fly. Edison ghosted the limitations of darkness. Gates ghosted the idea that computers were only for corporations. They all mastered selective invisibility to limitations while remaining hyper-visible to possibilities. This reminds me of a profound truth about personal transformation. The caterpillar doesn't fight to become a butterfly. It ghosts its old form completely. Inside the chrysalis, it doesn't partially transform. It commits totally to its new identity. That's your blueprint for change. Total commitment to ghosting your old self while embracing your emerging greatness. There's something powerful about mastering your craft. Excellence demands ghosting the temptation of premature visibility. Most people rush to be seen before they're ready. They ghost the crucial preparation phase while staying visible to quick recognition. Champions do the opposite. They ghost the need for early applause while staying visible to the demands of mastery. Think about the silence between musical notes. Without these moments where sound ghosts itself, there would be no rhythm, no melody, no music. Your life works the same way. The moments when you ghost the noise, when you become invisible to chaos, create the rhythm of your success. Picture a master martial artist. Their power doesn't come from being visible to every attack, but from ghosting the unnecessary movements. They become invisible to wasted energy while staying visible only to effective action. This is your model for living. Maximum impact through strategic invisibility. Consider the power of your words. Every time you speak, you're either ghosting your potential or ghosting your limitations. Most people stay visible to negative self-talk while ghosting their own words of power. From this moment, ghost every word that doesn't serve your highest purpose. The next level of your success demands the next level of ghosting. As you rise higher, as your impact grows stronger, you'll need to ghost even things that seem good to make room for what's great. Average people ghost what's painful. Champions ghost what's merely good to make room for what's exceptional. The universe doesn't reward those who ghost responsibility, but it abundantly rewards those who ghost excuses. Every time you ghost an excuse, you become visible to power. Every time you ghost a limitation, you become visible to possibility. Your DNA carries the wisdom of countless ancestors survived against impossible odds. They ghosted extinction itself. That same power runs through your veins. When you ghost mediocrity, you're not just making a choice. You're honoring your lineage of survivors and thrivers. It's a truth about destiny. It reveals itself not to those who chase it, but to those who ghost everything that isn't it. Your highest purpose becomes clear only when you ghost the distractions masquerading as opportunities. Just think about them. Leap in your life will come not from what you aggressively pursue, but from what you courageously ghost. Success isn't about accumulation. It's about elimination. Growth isn't about addition. It's about strategic subtraction. And now, as we draw this powerful journey to a close, understand this final truth. You are not here by accident. This message found you because you're ready to ghost everything that has been holding you back. The fact that these words resonate in your heart proves you're prepared for this transformation. The power you've been seeking isn't in some distant future. It's in what you're willing to ghost right now. Your next level of success, your next breakthrough, your next moment of triumph is waiting on the other side of what you have the courage to ghost. So rise now, empowered with this understanding. Step forward into your new life, armed with the power of strategic ghosting. Let every step you take be a deliberate choice between what deserves your visibility and what needs to fade into the background. Your time of wandering in the maze of mediocrity is over. Your era of drifting in the sea of average is finished. From this moment forward, you move with purpose, with power, with the precision of someone who knows exactly what to ghost and what to embrace. The world needs what only you can give, but it can only receive your gift when you ghost everything that isn't authentically you. Your greatness has been waiting for this moment. The moment when you finally understand that your power lies not in being visible to everything, but in being visible only to what truly matters. Go forth now, transformed by this understanding. Let your life become a masterpiece of strategic ghosting and purposeful visibility. The future belongs to those who ghost the ordinary to manifest the extraordinary. And that future belongs to you. You were born not to fit in, but to stand out, not to be visible to everything, but to shine brilliantly where it matters most. The power is yours. The time is now. Your destiny awaits on the other side of what you're willing to ghost. Listen closely to these final words, because they contain the essence of everything we've discussed. Your life stands at a magnificent intersection right now, between who you've been and who you're about to become. From this day forward, you possess a power that few will ever understand and even fewer will master. The power to ghost anything that stands between you and greatness. As you leave here today, carry this truth in your heart. You are not meant to be visible to everything, but you are meant to shine brilliantly where it matters most. When you master the art of ghosting what diminishes you, you naturally become magnetic to what elevates you. This isn't just a technique, it's a transformation. This isn't just a strategy, it's your birthright. So go now, armed with this knowledge, empowered by this understanding, and transformed by this truth. Ghost the ordinary visible only to the extraordinary, and watch as life reveals its grandest possibilities to you. Your time of playing small is over. Your era of strategic invisibility and purposeful power begins now. The world awaits the masterpiece you'll create by ghosting everything that isn't aligned with your highest destiny. Rise up, step forward, and let your light shine so brightly that everything meant to dim it naturally fades into insignificance. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your destiny. Seize it with everything you have. Rise up, step forward. Your new life begins now. Your journey of power through strategic ghosting starts now. Make it count.